I feel like e-learning is a very good and powerful tool where we can learn online using interactive media. As a journalism student, it actually helps us out quite often. So using it with interactive media actually allows us to engage part of our brains that are just being talked to or dictated the work by a teacher.
I think it's a powerful tool to learn online, so all the stuff you need to know in life you can learn online without coming into college.
I think e-learning is really useful for students who obviously want to learn more independently, I guess. I think it's really useful for, I don't know, people that really want to get a better understanding as well, aside from the teacher helping.
My understanding of e-learning is basically using new technology in the classroom, not just only in the classroom but also outside the classroom. So basically it's using new devices, new technology, particular apps that you can work through by making work much more faster, an easier process. Also it could be used by lecturers, by using particular devices and applications that they can communicate with their students rather than actually doing a face-to-face interaction. So it's practicing more about using this new technologies, about doing more distant learning.
I feel like online learning is a good way, a more interactive way actually, because like we're living in the age of the internet where it's all just blowing out proportion. I think that we could use the internet to our advantage, so why not use that for learning?
I think it would be really useful because teachers won't have to repeat themselves all the time, and if it's recorded it can just be put on a screen and the students can see it that way.
It can be useful in a way. I mean, you can learn in a different way, I believe. If you're, I guess, scared of talking to the public or your students, to your peers, it's something that you can develop yourself, it's something that you can learn independently.
Again, I think online learning is a really great way of reaching the kids on their level in a medium that they are really used to using all the time. I think we kind of have to move with the times, which is obviously isn't great for everyone, but I think if you can reach them in a medium that they're used to and that they're familiar with, because they all sit around playing their iPads and on their laptops and stuff all day long, if we can give them exercises and games and material that replicates the sort of things they're used to, then it makes sort of learning not only just fun but also similar to what they're used to, and obviously that repetition helps develop sort of like learning patterns.
I guess I'm quite a shy person, so I guess learning online is something that can help me at least to work harder myself and not have to worry about other people thinking of what I'm doing, or if I'm doing something wrong or something right. I can learn independently.
I think online learning would help me because I don't think everyone likes to be interactive, and some people just like to work by themselves on a computer. But then I don't think it would be too good because like we're on the computers all the time already, and to be on it even more, it ain't too healthy, like eyesight goes, and also I would like to speak to people like in person instead of just being online all the time.
It's a better way, a more engaging way for me to know about my subject area as opposed to just learning from a teacher from word of mouth. I think that actually engaging me in an internet-based subject would actually be far more interesting, especially for people my age.
Okay, online learning for me would probably take up a lot of my time, obviously to build up resources. So, I mean, I already have resources ready in the long run of how we deliver now, but it would be like building up a whole new process for my learners. So, for instance, I'm looking about recording my students and myself when I deliver a session and upload it straight away, purely because any students that are disadvantaged because they can't come into college, or they've got some serious issues about coming in, anxiety, or they've got dependents, or they're relying on care for their parents, that they can actually go online and actually see the class in action, and also probably in some sort of Skyping scenario as well, which is another way forward. So basically I could be delivering my class in my own living room and the students can interact in their own bedrooms, wherever location, to see what I am actually delivering and communicating.
Some barriers that you may find is like you might not be able to do the skill you're learning. Like, so if you're learning to be a carpenter online, you might not be able to carry out those skills, and you might not even be able to interact with other people doing the subject, which can have some negatives.
The barriers of e-learning, there's probably a few, but I think the most obvious one would be if you're learning online, what if you can't access the internet at home? I know it's a very rare thing that people won't have the internet at home, but if you don't, then you've got no access to this. And if you have no access to this, you can't learn. So traditional methods are going to be far more accessible for those who don't have the internet. If you don't have the internet, you can't do e-learning at home. So doing homework, coursework, trying to update all your previous work, it's just not going to happen.
Well, it makes it very difficult to police the group, essentially. I mean, when you've got them in a confined space, you can keep an eye on them and you know they're working. If they get distracted, you can bring them back to focus. If they go off at a tangent and sort of run off at a wrong point, as it were. Sometimes it's great when they do that. You know, they can find and explore and find really great things, but sometimes they go off in the wrong direction. And if you're not there to sort of police that and catch that, it can be quite damaging for them and their grades. So that's a bit of an issue. Also, again, you've got very little control on making sure they do it. I mean, obviously there are systems in place so you know that when those students who have done it in fact. But you aren't able to stand over them if they're particularly troublesome or reluctant to do the work and to make them to do it, as it were.
I think having probably iPads in the classroom would be really useful. I mean, if the teacher's giving you some lessons and things that you wanted to learn, and you can't remember, you want to put the homework down and you want to write the dates and stuff, they already have the calendar there, so you know exactly what you have to do, so you can keep up to date and be more organised, I guess.
It could be useful to have an app or device on people's phones which can help in class. Like, so you could use apps in class to help develop skills and make activities more interesting.
I think to try and engage us more, I feel like e-learning should be brought to phones. I mean, people will be on the phones anyway in class. Everyone knows it happens. The teachers, the students, everyone knows it happens. But the thing is that if you use that as a learning tool, you breach a barrier between students and teachers, and it no longer becomes a thing where it's like you'll be in trouble for it. If you use it to, you know, go on to e-learning, teach yourself something, or teach yourself independently, I feel like that could actually allow students to be far more interested in the subject, while at the same time not feeling like they're just being talked down to or condescended to by a teacher for being on their phone.